Welcome to a Lynx edition of VI Sports, a show that takes you beyond the scoreboard, bringing you stories from across the Vancouver Island sports scene. I'm Kevin Chirac, hosting from the beautiful Bear Mountain Golf Resort here in Langford, where today a few golfers could catch their big break. We'll tell you what that means in just a moment, but first, let's preview what's on today's show. Dan Kahn reunites with a world champion who's all grown up.
I've always been told, never give up.
An 18-year-old heading to the U.S. Open. We explore Colwood's Naomi Co's journey to success. We head to Parksville for the University Golf Championships. Golf journeyman and Oak Bay native Jim Rutledge reflects on over 30 years on tour. And we follow Comox's Riley Wheeldon as he swings for the RBC Canadian Open. Those stories coming up in just a bit, but right now I'm with Associate Golf Pro here at Bear Mountain, Justin Ford. Justin, break down the tournament here today and what it could mean if some of these golfers are successful on the course here today.
Thanks, Kevin. For sure, yeah, on behalf of the entire team at Bear Mountain, super excited to host these guys out here. Most of the golfers' goal in mind here is the PGA Tour, so this is a possible exemption to get them into a PGA Tour event, the Canadian Open, which is our national championship, the largest event in Canada. So these players today are playing an 18-hole competition, and the low five guys from today will get into the Monday qualifier for the Canadian Open.
Seems like a lot of pressure. Give us an idea of just who is out there competing. Where are these guys from? Where are they at in their careers?
For sure. We do have a few Americans up, so thanks for coming on out. And yeah, I mean, lots of local guys. We have Riley Wheeldon playing, so he's a Bear Mountain ambassador and a guy we're definitely shooting for here.
Good round today puts me one round away from being in the Canadian Open. There's a couple other avenues I can get in as well, but any chance I can give myself to get into that event is important to me. It's the biggest event in Canada, and being able to play here at Bear Mountain, a place that sponsors me, a place that I've lived and love, it's going to be a good day.
So just to be clear, this is a qualifier for a qualifier.
Yes, so we have a 30-man field today. The low five guys will qualify to get into the Monday qualifier. Most PGA events have a pre-Monday qualifier nowadays.
And talk to me a little bit about the course. What do the golfers need to do to be successful here at Bear Mountain?
Definitely, if anyone here has played the course before, you got to keep it in play off the tee. Main thing, to try to keep the same ball all the way around and keep it in play.
And you talk about the players being from the United States, BC, pretty much all over. Where are they at in their careers? Are they on the rise? Are they younger?
Yeah, we got a lot of younger players, so players just out of college. There are some more well-established professionals.
And Riley, can you just give the viewer an idea of where you're at in your golf career right now and where you aspire to be?
I'm on the Mackenzie Tour Canada right now, which is a couple levels lower than the PGA Tour, which is my ultimate goal. That's the top stage for golf. Played a couple events out there, but definitely not full-time, and that's where I aspire to be. That's where the big boys are and the big money, so hopefully to get there in a couple of years, if not sooner.
All these players' goal in mind is the PGA Tour, so they're all working towards that goal.
Climbing the ladder.
Climbing the ladder, exactly, step by step.
For our first story, we start out in the junior ranks, and here on the island we have one of the finest young players around. He swung his first golf club at just age 4. 2 years later, at age 6, he captured his first world championship, and now at 12 years old, he's considered one of the country's rising stars. Our own Dan Kahn has the story.
6 years ago, from this very spot at Bear Mountain Golf's driving range, we brought you the story of a 6-year-old boy who was a pretty good golfer.
He'd already won a bunch of tournaments, including a world championship.
Oh, geez. Well, we just wanted to check in with him 6 years later to see if he's still swinging for the stars. Are you still enjoying the game?
Yes, I'm still really loving it.
You don't get sick of playing or practicing?
No, never. It's really fun to be out here. I mean, it's really green as well. So.
It is green out here, much greener than it was back in 2010. In 6 years, Jeevan's grown a lot. And so has his game. He's one of the top-ranked junior players in the world. And if you need more evidence of how good he is, listen to this.
How many holes in one do you have?
I actually have 11.
No way. 11.
11. And I've had 2 in tournaments as well. So.
What does that feel like to get a hole-in-one in a tournament?
Feels nice. It's a nice boost and score for sure.
What makes Jeevan so good is that he loves to compete. After his dad took him to a driving range when he was 4 years old, Jeevan fell in love with the game. Already by the age of 6, Jeevan didn't like to lose.
Yeah, I'm competitive.
You like to win?
Yeah.
Do you get upset if you lose ever?
Yeah, I get cranky.
Do you?
Yeah.
You still get cranky?
I try not to, because it's probably not very good for the health when you get cranky, so.
He doesn't have like the typical hockey parent or somebody that's harping on him, trying to push him hard. It's him all the time. So you do have to sort of rein him in sometimes and just say, hey, Jeevan, let's just take some time off here a little bit.
Physiotherapist Andrew Grant is Jeevan's strength and conditioning coach.
He started off the year working hard on his fitness, and at the beginning he had a difficult time just completing a push-up, and you send him away with some exercises to work on to build up his strength, and now he's up to 15 push-ups. I think he has a drive that I've never seen before.
More and more exceptional athletes are using strength and conditioning coaches to take their game to that next level.
It can be challenging in some ways because he's so intrinsically motivated. More often than not, my job is just to try to rein him in to get him to slow it down sometimes.
One of my main goals is to be in a top college, but then pursue an education out of there. But yeah, definitely, so maybe someday if things go really, really well, then PGA could be in sight, but that's every kid's dreams.
When this young man was a kid, his dream was to follow in the footsteps of his golf idol.
Tiger.
Tiger Woods.
I'm sure he'll strike back, and he's Tiger, so we'll see how that happens, but yeah, I'm still a fan of him.
While many young people his age would be focused on adding to his trophy case, Jeevan already possesses the maturity to focus on long-term goals.
Right now, the goal isn't really about trophies. It's about pursuing my development and getting better each and every day.
So instead of worrying about becoming a pro golfer, Jeevan's just keeping his eye on the ball, taking it one swing at a time. Just like he said 6 years ago.
You hit a good drive. Grab the next ball. Hit another good drive.
In Langford, I'm Dan Co.
Thanks, Dan. Going to be exciting to see his progress over the years. All right, we got to take a quick break. More from Bear Mountain and more island golf stories when we come back.
You're watching VI Sports on Shaw TV.
In 2015, she was named BC's Female Junior Athlete of the Year. Fast forward to 2016, and she recently completed her freshman season as a member of the North Carolina State University golf team. And, oh yeah, she recently qualified for one of the biggest tournaments in women's golf. I recently caught up with Colwood's own Naomi Co. If you play around at Royal Colwood Golf Club this summer, chances are you'll bump into Naomi Co.
I haven't seen anybody at our club, or anybody, quite frankly, from a junior standpoint, put in more time.
The 18-year-old Team Canada member practices every day, a habit she formed at just 11 years old.
You get out of school at like 3:30, so you have until dark, so I would practice until dark.
5 days a week?
Every day.
Every day? 7 days a week?
Yep.
3 hours practice, then you play around, hopefully.
Yep.
Relentless focus on fundamentals.
Her club head speed is in that 95-mile-an-hour range, which is actually just a little bit higher than what the LPGA average would be, so she's above average from a power standpoint.
And her extraordinary work ethic is paying off. The North Carolina State freshman recently won a 2-day tournament qualifier for the LPGA US Open. She'll be competing against the best female golfers in the world.
I'm really excited. I know it's going to be a week of a lot of learning.
A humble response by someone raised in a humble household. Naomi's family immigrated to Canada from South Korea when she was just 6 years old. Here's her dad on the left. Mom's too shy for the spotlight. Her parents work 7 days a week, 12-hour days, at a small store in Metchosin.
I just think they want me to have a good future, have a lot more opportunities than maybe opportunities that they didn't have when they were younger.
They saw golf as that opportunity.
Yeah, at first I would say it was a little bit pushed.
A frustrating sport for anyone, let alone an 11-year-old. But when Naomi started seeing results, she was hooked.
What we see in Naomi is what we see in a lot of athletes who are successful, and that's their self-starters.
My parents are very big on do it on your own, like make your own decision. For example, they never push me to go in and do my homework.
Her practice may seem repetitive and tedious, but the golf course is her happy place.
I don't think I've ever seen her without a smile on her face.
Sorry. I just have a lot of fun on the course. I try not to get down on myself. I mean, it's easy to get down on yourself on the course, but I try not to focus too much on the results and just on the process of it.
Naomi faced ups and downs in her first season in the NCAA, but she calls her win at the US Open qualifier a game changer.
I had a hard time gaining confidence over the past year, so even though I had a good season, but after this tournament, I feel like I gained a lot of confidence and I kind of know what I'm capable of. If I just keep working hard, I know I can get to where I want to be.
Discipline and hard work paying off. Now, Naomi also credits much of her success to the Vikes Golf Junior Tour. It's a nonprofit program dedicated to helping young golfers reach their potential, regardless of economic or social background. And speaking of the University of Victoria, they recently hosted the 2016 University Golf Championships at Morningstar Golf Course in Parksville. Our own Kate Bergen was there to explore the future of golf.
It's a pristine day here at Morningstar Golf Club in Parksville. 20 of the best amateur men's teams and 12 of the best amateur women's teams from universities and colleges from across the country are competing for top spot. And many of these young competitors have come through the ranks of Vikes Junior Golf.
On a personal note, in Victoria, we have a fellow by the name of Jim Goddard, Director of Golf at Cadova Bay Golf Club, is absolutely doing yeoman's work with the Vikes Junior Golf Tour there. On our team today, our men's team, 4 of our men's players are from the Vikes Junior Tour, and 3 are members of our Uplands Golf Course. And in college golf, no matter whether you're in the States or in Canada, that just doesn't happen. And that happens for a reason, and we're trying to grow our own.
And growing your own when it comes to golf could be argued by some as necessary to keep the sport thriving. Despite a wave of facility closures in the 1980s and 90s, golf is the most played sport in Canada, with 5.7 million golfers hitting the greens, whether competitively or just for fun, every year. And this year, golf is once again an Olympic sport.
2016 being an Olympic year, golf is back in the Olympics for the first time since 1904. Canada were the defending gold champions from 1904, George Lyon. So I think the Olympics is going to be huge for the game.
For Michaela Abbey, it's not the Olympics that keeps golf in the forefront of her life. She's competing in the women's division for the UVic Vikes and says it's the mentorship and support she's received from people like Brian and others in the Vikes organization.
If you asked me a year ago, I would have honestly said no. I wasn't sure if I was going to play this year. And with the Vikes team, we actually do a lot of volunteering, and that changed my mind. I spent a lot more time with our little Vikes tour last spring, and just seeing the little girls out there like looking up to me and asking me questions and just having so much fun. It's so rewarding, and giving back and growing the game. Because I wouldn't be here if other people didn't do that, didn't volunteer and show me that there was a path that I could go down and be standing here, yeah.
Probably the biggest thing about golf is you learn it as a kid and you get to play it for the rest of your life. Along the challenges, you can be competitive, play to whatever level you aspire to.
I've played team sports my whole life, but there's just nothing like relying on yourself and, grinding and just that achievement, and it's all you out there. And I take that, to life and how you just have to overcome struggles, and it's such a life game, everything about it. And I also love that it's, you can play with every age group. That's the best part, actually, because I get to play with my grandpa, my dad, and get to meet so many different people.
Michaela plans to go into coaching after graduation. This is the 14th year of the Canadian University College Championship. It's co-hosted by the University of Victoria Vikes and Morningstar Golf Club. This is one of 10 National Golf Championship events in Canada this year. For VI Sports in Parksville, I'm Kate Bergen.
Thanks, Kate. We got to take a quick breather, but much more from Bear Mountain Golf Resort when we come back.
Watching VI Sports on Shaw TV.
Welcome back on the beautiful 13th hole par 5 at the mountain course on Bear Mountain Golf Resort here in Langford. Now, we've covered the island's up-and-comers, so let's switch gears and meet a Victoria man who's grinded his way to an over 30-year professional career. And he's still going.
Been very, very lucky to have golf as part of my life.
For professional golfer Jim Rutledge, his journey began in the backyard of his Oak Bay home.
When I was 12 years old, I'd hit plastic balls over my house and make holes on either side of the house.
Rutledge quickly became addicted. Cedar Hill Golf Course was his second home.
Played my way through the ranks there in the junior golf, and then eventually became a professional in 1978, straight out of high school.
Rutledge turned pro at just 18 years old. A feat unheard of in today's golf world. He played tournaments across the country in the Canadian Tour, traveling every weekend with his golf buddies, making little money and having the time of his life. By his early 20s, the steady play earned him an invite to the Asian Golf Tour.
What are some of the big takeaways you think about your career and just your life dedicated to the sport?
Where you've been, really. You know what I mean? When you put them all on the table and go, okay, here I was in India, here I was in playing team competitions around the country here. So I think it's just the expanse of the area that you've covered in your career.
His over 30-year career includes stops in Australia, Europe, Canada, Asia, and the US. His career earnings are well into the millions, but it's been anything but easy. Rutledge calls his career a constant grind, filled with peaks and valleys, and no shortage of cherished memories.
Certainly representing my country, I think, in World Cup play with Mike Weir and Dave Barr, and Dunhill Cup play at St. Andrews in England there. So some of those are very, very special to me. Winning the New Zealand PGA in 2006 was huge for me because that catapulted me to the PGA Tour for a year, which I'd never been on. So that was a big, big win for me.
But for the father of one, a career competing abroad meant a considerable sacrifice.
Would you say that was the toughest part of being on the tour?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just missing home, missing family.
Home and family, definitely.
Rutledge credits much of his career longevity to the constant support of his family.
So that was a special moment for me and my wife.
Jim met Jill growing up on the golf course. Here they are with golf legend Arnold Palmer sandwiched in the middle. Jill is also Jim's career-long caddy.
We don't take the golf part home with us. You know, after our round's done and our practice is complete, you know, we hop into the car and go home as a couple and enjoy the evening.
Rutledge says the key to managing the swings of a golf career is learning how to escape.
Yeah, I get away totally. You know, I'll stay at home, I'll work in the garden with my wife, I'll just do other things, you know what I mean? Spend lots of family time with my son and his wife, just forget about it for a while.
For Rutledge, the grind continues. His focus now earning his way back on the best senior golf tour in the world, the PGA Tour Champions. What a journey. All right, as promised, let's catch up with Comox golfer Riley Wheeldon as he battles to qualify for the 2016 RBC Canadian Open.
Riley Wheeldon shoots a 6 under 64, one step closer to Glen Abbey. How'd the round go?
It went smoothly, with the exception of kind of a little speed bump in the middle, a couple bogeys on 9 and 10, but other than that I played nicely. I'm pretty sure I took care of business, and like you said, one round away from hopefully being in the Canadian Open.
Talk to me a little bit about the back nine, because there were some frustrating moments. Did you feel like you were playing to your potential?
I mean, the bogeys on 9 and 10 were frustrating, but for the most part I knew I was in a good spot. I just have high expectations, and when I don't execute a shot, I'm not always thrilled. But I know this course, I kind of know where to miss, so I got fortunate in the couple times that I did hit errant shots on the back that I was in spots where I could still make a par or a birdie.
The perfectionist coming out in you?
Yeah, I think all professional golfers have a little bit of it in us. Even though it's an imperfect game, we're all striving to be perfect.
So you're one step closer. What are some things perhaps you need to improve on to get to that next level?
Oh, I mean, I got to improve in every area. Short game can't get good enough. That's what makes you the big money. And then just tightening up everything from tee to green, and then mentally as well. If you have no weaknesses, then chances are you're going to be on the PGA Tour.
Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. For everyone here at VI Sports, I'm Kevin Chirac. Special thank you to Bear Mountain Golf Resort for providing the beautiful backdrop for today's show. Remember to follow us on Twitter for links to other episodes and this episode of VI Sports, plus sports news in your community. We leave today's show with a special message from our Access producer, Kelly Mann. Enjoy. We'll see you next time.
Sport tourism alone is worth over $117 million to the Victoria economy. Whether it's a golf tournament, a bike ride, a marathon, it all adds up. And the community's piggybacking on that. They're investing in infrastructure. Here at Royal Athletic Park, there's going to be some great things done to help the Harbour Cats. Karza, the new facility out at UVic, and of course the great investments that Langford's making in its West Hills property. All of those are attracting new opportunities, new sport events, which will generate and add more sport tourism to the greater Victoria economy. So the next time you're out driving around and maybe you get stuck behind a marathon or a 10K road race, don't honk your horn and be impatient. Think that those people are spending money in our economy here in Victoria, helping our tax base and putting people to work. It's heads in beds and it's people eating in our local restaurants. For VI Sports, I'm Kelly Mann, and that's Man Up.